Somalia has the longest coastline, over 3,300 kilometers. It has 2 rivers. It has 60 million livestock. And the poor people that you see the world trying to help are not people that were poor to begin with. This is a camel herder, a livestock herder, a farmer that was forced to become poor overnight. So for me, despite being a refugee at one point and being under the UNHCR and appreciating the role of non-governmental organizations and civil society entities, as Mr. Miliband has mentioned, I think the only missing link in the equation is the role of the state. What distinguishes a kid living in Niger, in the Sahel, in Africa, from one living in Switzerland or Sweden is the nature of the state they live in and the role it plays in enabling, not necessarily executing projects, but creating the enabling environment for individuals, mothers, households, and communities to have access to resources that can make them a bit more resilient. For instance, we have over 3.5 million Somalis that are displaced, and they are a protracted situation for the last 30 years. Increasingly, after every climate shock, the number increases. I do not think that without it needs things like housing. It needs things like massive infrastructure of roads, hospitals, settlement, resettlement. That is not something that a small NGO that is there on an interim basis and not permanent basis can resolve. My challenge to the international community, to practitioners is, we are for collaboration, but the solution will come primarily from the communities, and it must be led, initiated, strategized by the state. We could come up with all kinds of fancy documents like the NDI, a strategic national adaptation plan, a national IDP settlement plan, but without the resources, it is not going to cut. To conclude, with over $5 billion anticipated for Somalia every year to cope with climate change, we're only getting about $300 million. And as David would say, for every one person, there is a couple of dollars spent on it. While the amount of money being spent on the humanitarian crisis is increasing, my conclusion is, in agreement with my panelists here, this needs a coordinated, synergized approach between the states, among the states, international civil society organizations, bilateral and multilateral development banks, and other actors, donor community, to find durable solutions.